Hello, everyone. It's Damien. Realize I want to make sure that I record. Give some folks a minute to just get on here live with me. And if you're joining, then welcome to everyone. I'm going to talk today about managing distractions effectively, and we're really going to have it as a live Q&A. I want to welcome those of you who are here live with me, and those of you who are watching this recording on the various platforms, welcome as well to the recording. And you can always message me with any of your questions. I've got a number of folks who have sent in questions in advance, and I'm also will take questions live from anyone who's joining me and is actually tuned into the live event. So there's three things I want to say about managing distractions effectively. The first thing is that distractions are inevitable, and I'll come back and share a little bit more about that in a minute. The second thing is that there are two primary reasons that the clients I work with, which are 95% women entrepreneurs, there's two primary reasons why they have challenges managing the world of distractions. And then the third thing I'm going to say about it is about commitment. So let's just talk first about the inevitability of distractions. Look, if you think that distractions, emergencies, interruptions are a wrong thing, then you're really not living realistically in your life. It's going to be, there are going to be things that are going to show up for you, whether that be, especially in these times, if you're working at home and you're surrounded by the rest of the family, schedules are disrupted, things are interrupted. I was just on the phone with one of my clients this morning talking about how his normal office, which is in the home, which is in the central part of the home, is now is the hub. And people are constantly going back and forth and interrupting him, where before his two kids would go off to school, they would be gone for the day, and his wife would be busy doing her things during the course of the day and managing what she needed to be committed to, and he would be left alone. And it's exactly the opposite of that right now. So interruptions in this time are even more pronounced than they were before, and interruptions are going to be inevitable no matter what kind of life you're living. So that's number one. You can't make the distractions, you can't make the interruptions wrong. Number two, there's the two reasons. I'm going to just share a piece from my book. So this is my Amazon international best-selling book. It's a bestseller in the US, Canada, and Australia. It's called Cure Entrepreneurialitis, 52 Habits to Earn the Freedom You Deserve. You can check it out on Amazon for either this version or the Kindle version. But I wanted to read a couple of paragraphs from it, and it says, there are generally two reasons entrepreneurs have challenges managing distractions. The first is a lack of planning. Many habits in this book support you in reducing the frequency and quantity of the unexpected. Planning is imperative. The second reason is a lack of discipline and respect for yourself. Entrepreneurs react to interruptions. It's like whatever or whoever is interrupting them is more important than what they had planned to do. In the corporate world, you might actually have to drop something when your manager interrupts you, but you are the CEO of your own business. What you say goes. You're the captain of your ship. The distractions and interruptions can get in line until you're ready to deal with them. Your job as the CEO is to do whatever you need to do to remain focused on what is right in front of you. If you need to close the door to do it, if you need to put your phone on silent, do that. If you need to install apps to lock you out from certain websites during your working hours, then that is exactly what there is to do. So those are the two key things that you want to be mindful of, especially if you're running your own business, or if you're working at home, you're now like the CEO of your business, even though you're working for somebody else, you're running your operation in your home. There's nobody that's really necessarily looking in on you and managing that time that you may have had that structure on the outside. And then the last thing I want to say about this, number 3, is that without commitment, none of this matters. So if you have a commitment to allowing interruptions to displace your day or displace your focus, nothing that I say, nothing that you read, no structure that you put in place will make any difference for you because you have a commitment to not actually staying focused. Now, I am the biggest culprit of this. I am what some people will affectionately refer to as a squirrel chaser. Literally, a squirrel could run past the window and I would watch it and not stay focused. So I've made myself a student of those people who have become very effective at staying focused and staying inside of structures and being able to manage their distractions. And I've learned a few things along the way. So what I'm going to do is, those of you who are here live, why don't you go ahead and just type in any questions that you might have. And I am going to start to answer the questions that I actually got sent to me in advance on the different sites that I asked for your questions. So the first question is, how do you create a schedule that allows for those distractions to be addressed? I love this question because it's one of my favorite things. And I was working with a client on this just the other day. So everybody's life is different. Every day is different. And so, you know, if you're operating one kind of business, living your one kind of life, you may not have the same quantity or the same type of distractions that I would have. So the first thing you want to do is get clear on, what is a regular day? What does a regular day look like for you in terms of the number of distractions, and what would you need to manage it? So for example, I know that in my day, it's roughly an hour to an hour and a half. And so what I do when I schedule my day out is I leave 15 minutes in between each of the scheduled things. So if I have 6 or 7 things to do over the course of the day, 6 times 15, it's about an hour and a half of time that I have unscheduled. And what I'm able to do with that time is that I can shift the blocks of time around if I happen to have to deal with something that shows up in my day as a distraction. And so that's the one way to manage it. Another way to do it is to just schedule a block in your calendar of an hour and a half called interruption time. And then you can use that interruption time whenever it is that you need it. So that's one way to handle that. Let's see, what else do I have as a question? Second question is, I've been goofing off on social media and online shopping this morning when I should be working. So how do we do that? Oh, so they wanted to know how to create a schedule that allows for those distractions to be addressed. Here's an interesting statistic. Gloria Mark, a professor at the University of California, Irvine, did a study, and it takes 23 minutes and 15 seconds on average for someone to, once they're distracted, to come back to the task that they were working on. And before they come back to that task, they actually will work on at least 2 other things. So if you think about it, if you had scheduled an hour to work on something and you got distracted 15 minutes through, you're not coming back to that task. You're not coming back to that task until 40 minutes into the time you had scheduled, which means you have 20 minutes left to work on it. So in total, you spent 35 minutes out of the hour that you had scheduled. That's how distractions can actually just cut away at your time. And then at the end of the day, you're wondering, well, where did all my time go and why didn't I get what I actually said I wanted to get accomplished? Okay, what else do I got? Why can't I just do whatever I'm interested in? Then I stay focused. boredom leads to distraction. And then someone commented on that and says, how do I do that and keep everything moving forward? It's really great, a great question, because there's two things I want to say about that. One is that if there are items that you are bored with and that do not light you up and are not inside of your zone of genius, those are the things that really need to be outsourced, delegated, or just deleted from your task list. So that's the first way to handle those issues. If you do have to work on something that you really don't like working on, then I use a technique that was invented in the 80s. Geez, I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a C. Anyway, it's using the Pomodoro timers. So I use Pomodoro timers for my whole workday. And the way the Pomodoros work is that you work 25 minutes on, and then you take a 5-minute break, 25 minutes on, take a 5-minute break, 25 minutes on, take a 15-minute break. And the research has shown that the brain is not designed to focus on one thing for a long period of time. And so the Pomodoro technique has you be able to focus for the amount of time that is optimal for you to focus, and then you take a break. And I reward myself with my breaks. So sometimes on breaks, I will get a little snack, or I might go to Starbucks if it's the long break, or I might play on an app for 5 minutes. So my brain is completely disengaged from whatever it is that I was working on in the first place. So that's how I would suggest doing that. Let's see if there's any live questions in addition to those that we had from the other folks. I don't see anything live. All right, no questions. Okay, so I wanted to keep this pretty short for you guys, just give you some nuggets of information. I'm going to actually be going on live for some short sessions like this one from now until Christmas Eve. Just came to me yesterday, something that I want to share with you. And then the other thing that I really want to share with you is something I'm really excited about that you could help me with. And that is that I have a real commitment to making a difference. My purpose in the world is dreams fulfilled. Who I am is dreams fulfilled. And about a year ago, I created something that I've shared on social media a little bit about. And it was something that originally was intended for me. I wanted to be able to focus and not give in to the distractions around fulfilling on what I had created as my ideal life or my 10-year vision. And I had coaches and I had support structures, and all of those work really well. But what I really wanted was a community who would have my back, hold my dreams the same way I was committed to holding theirs. And so I created an experiment about a year ago, and myself and 7 incredible women were the subjects of this experiment during 2020. And it went so well that I've done it again. And what I'll do is I'll leave the link to the opportunity inside of the comments for this live. If you're someone who knows that you are subject to distractions in your life, and maybe you have different support structures that are working for you, but you know that you're not like laser focused on having that dream life. Like you're not really clear that every day, every hour, that what you're doing is in service of your purpose and fulfilling on your vision and fulfilling on your dreams, then you should reach out to me. And I would love to share with you about this opportunity, about this community that we've created and what they're doing, and give you an opportunity to participate with us starting at the beginning of 2021. So with that, I'll sign off and say thanks for tuning in for today. Have an amazing day, and I'll connect with you all tomorrow. Bye for now.